Hi Crafty friend, it's me, Justine Dvorak. Welcome to Stationery by Justine, where when I craft my world stands still. Today I'm going to make two cute cards with the Pooh Bear from the Pooh Bear items from the Simple Stories. These are the Classic Pooh, so it's called Say Cheese Classic Pooh. Now I pulled out these two specific pattern papers from the 12 by 12 pack. I went ahead and cut up the one page so you can see them here. They cut up to be 6 by 4 panels. So you can just pop these right onto card bases and you have 6 cards basically done for you. I probably would add a little bit to this pink one, maybe add something to the notebook area. And then this little Be Happy one is just so cute. So on top of those, we have the little tags here. So I'm going to do a little bit of chopping with my paper trimmer, and I'm going to use one of these tags, this Pooh and Piglet one to be specific, for a card. So we are going to do a card centered around a tag, and then I'll use one of the panels for my second card. So this is a video all about using pattern paper to lead you into easier cards. So a lot of times when you get pattern paper packs, you might have a page that is like this with the tags, or you might have one that has the card panels like I just showed, and you can make some really fast and easy cards with them. So if you are a beginner card maker, you can go ahead and use those as they are. Or if you are a little bit more advanced, you can take what the pattern paper has to offer and bump it up even more and kind of make it even more exciting. So I'm going to take now my paper cutter and cut off this one tag that is on the end here. And I'm just going to follow the lines that the paper has provided for me and just chop off that section. Now to keep the other ones together, I am just going to leave them as they are. Just give a little snip to this side as well, so it's a nice clean edge. And then I'm going to follow the guidelines that are on the paper for making this rectangle into a tag. Did you catch the Minnesota accent there? The tag. All right, there's my tag. It's ready for a bag. I can't help it. Now I'm going to take a paper punch and punch out the center hole here. I have a very old school paper punch. I think this one is older than I am, but it works just as well. So I'm going to try to center it. I was a little bit off, so I did go ahead and punch it twice, but no biggie. Just need a little hole there that's ready for my ribbon to go in. And I'm going to have some fun using some of my older ribbon and thread that's in my stash, because 2025 is the year of using my stash. So I have this sparkly white and silver twine. This is from Spellbinders. Nope, sorry, this is from Target from like 3 years ago. And then the blue twine is from $1.25 Tree. Then the thick, clear, whitish ribbon that is big is from a gift from my Christmas present I got this year. So I just put the blue twine into a bow, and now I tied off all the ends of the twine, and I'm going to take this big ribbon and stick the twine into it and make a little burrito. This will give a clean look to my tag. I'm going to wrap the thick ribbon around the twine. There's the burrito. Burrito-ish, maybe more like a taco. Maybe I'm hungry. And then just get it into a little pointed spot. And then I dive into my tags from the front. I find that gives a nice clean look to the front of my project. So I'm going through the front with my ribbon bundle. You can go from the back to the front if you want a different look, but this is the look that I prefer. Then I find the little gap, and then I will take 2 fingers and grab all of the rest of the front pieces, put it in between my 2 fingers, and then pull it through the loop. and then very gently, so I don't rip my paper, I will coax it through so it is nice and secure. And then do a little bit of fussing because that's just what we do. I just love the classic Pooh items that came out last month in January. I have a whole video on my channel of watercoloring with some of the BetterPress plates, and you can check that out if you want. If you're extra like me and like to finish off your ribbons with flame, be careful because it's hot. It's a flame. So I just like to melt the ends of my ribbon whenever it's like this so it doesn't fray or unravel. But like I said, be careful if you use flame ever, especially in your craft room. You've been warned. Okay, now that everything is melted enough, I'm just going to snip off a little piece that got a little bit charred. What is life if it's not interesting, right? Sometimes you char your ribbon. Okay, now my little bow I'm going to just stick right onto the little loopy part of my tag with some liquid glue. Not really too complicated. I find that this is a very easy hack for adding bows to my tags. Get your tag all set and then just glue a bow on or use a glue dot. It doesn't have to be complicated to be adorable. I feel like that should be a slogan. Put it on a t-shirt. It doesn't have to be complicated to be adorable. Another thing I would put on a t-shirt would be, if it's in a basket, it's organized. Okay, we will set my bow off to the side to just settle down with that glue and dry. It won't take too long. Barely Arts liquid glue does dry rather quickly. I'm going to stick a BetterPress sentiment that I glimmered once upon a time onto this one that says handmade for you. I'm going to go sentiment heavy on this card, so this will be one of 3 sentiments. I just can't help it because these Winnie the Pooh sentiments are just really, really cute. And I had to. I had to. Plus it's glimmered. It's so pretty when you have white paper and gold foil. Next we'll move to figure out what I'm going to do with my next card. And I love Eeyore. So this one that had Eeyore really stood out to me. Eeyore is one of my favorite characters from Pooh. A lot of days I feel like Eeyore. Definitely yesterday I was feeling very Eeyore-ish, but this sentiment is just very sweet and I thought it would be appropriate for making a little happy card. So I'm going to take my nesting dies. These ones are the Essential Stylish Ovals from Spellbinders. They live on my desk in my nesting die basket. And I'm just going to pick the one that is just the right size. I love this die set because there are so many different sizes. And I can really pick the one that is just right. A little bit of a Goldilocks moment there. Too big, too small, just right. This one will do. So I'll just quickly die cut that out. Ta-da! Then I'm going to mat it with some red cardstock and then put this really pretty paper behind it. Isn't that paper gorgeous? It matches Eeyore's coloring and the red and the gold from the card panel. So it makes my heart so happy. And I love this paper so much. I'm going to use it on both of my cards. I know. All of the materials I'm using, except the oval die, the ribbon, and that handmade for you sentiment, are all from the Simple Stories collection from Spellbinders. So just heads up, I will have a link in the description of the materials I used. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out in the description. And remember, anytime you use any of my links down below, it helps me out. It does not cost you anything extra. It just tells whatever company you're buying from with my link, hey, Justine sent you. They give me a little bit of a kickback from that. Again, it does not cost you anything, and it is very helpful. I've been using my liquid glue to glue almost all of my card panels down recently. I just find that it sticks a little bit better than double-sided tape. So I am going to use liquid glue to put my card base on. And anytime I use my card base, I like to align it with the spine of the card or where it folds, and then move it over from there. All right, let's jump back to my first card. Now, if I had my brain cells holding hands and thinking ahead, I would have ink blended now on this card, but I actually ink blend at the end, which it could have been a problem, but it isn't a problem. But if you want to distress your items and have them look a little more vintage, I definitely recommend doing it before you glue it onto your card. Just saying. But it works out. It's all fine. Just have to drop my card panel first. Isn't this paper so pretty? I think that this one, and then the one that has Pooh that is like yellow and pink, and it has Pooh with honey jars, I think that is just such a cute paper. If you grabbed any of the dies from the Simple Stories collection, you're going to want this pattern paper pack. It is so perfect for all of the Winnie the Pooh cards. I've been trying to use up old card bases in my craft room, so some of them are maybe not exactly A2 size, so I have been trimming my card bases down a lot recently. So that's what that was all about. Let me know if you have a preference for your card bases. Do you like it to open up like a book, which is a side fold, or do you like a top fold card? I love a top fold card, but I find that buying the card bases pre-made that are side folding is kind of more time. I don't know, it just works better for my time, but I do love a top fold. So let me know your preference in the comments. Now, I thought I was done, and then I remembered that there is this die cut pack, and I had to go crazy with it. So I'm adding the little quote that says, "Okay," to Eeyore, and then a little bit of a flower there that matches everything, and then these little bumblebees that match everything, but you can kind of peek and see some of those other die cut pieces. It's just such a cute set, and I think that this one is just such a cheerful collection, and it is just so me. I would love to decorate my kindergarten classroom Winnie the Pooh themed, but I do like to keep things very kind of neutral and rainbowish because I like to leave my decorations up year round, and we focus a lot on colors and such in kindergarten, but I think Winnie the Pooh would be so cute to decorate, maybe even like a nursery. These cards would be so fun for baby cards as well. I'm going to add these little bumblebees on. One of them is a chipboard bumblebee, which is from the chipboard pack, and then the other ones are paper. And I love the sentiment, "Oh bother," and stuffed with fluff. When I was making these, all of the Winnie the Pooh songs just came flooding back into my brain and now have been living rent-free in my head, and I'm so okay with that. But going back to the whole point of this video is to make tags on cards or use pattern paper to work for you in your craft room, and you really can make a lot of really fun projects just with some pattern paper and putting a tag as the focal point, grabbing some nesting dies. But to bump it up, you can do things like adding funky ribbon and glimmering sentiments, or even adding some distressing and ink blending like I am here. Now, as I said before, if you're going to ink blend, I would do this before you add your tag on. I did not think about this until the end of my making. I thought that the edge needed just a little something. So I grabbed my vintage photo, which is Distress ink, and my ink brown brush, and I just gave it a little bit of a smush and a little distressing on the edges. And I love the way that this looks when it's all done. I was very careful to not get any of the brown on the tag part. I think it would have looked really cute to have brown on the tag, but because I used foam to pop up the tag, I did not want to risk getting ink where I didn't want it to, and I didn't want it to cover up the characters, so I just let that be. And now I'm lining up my card with my first original inky area because I don't want to get brown ink on the background of my card. But you know what? If that happens, it is what it is. It's just ink. So it's not dirt. Oh, bother. It's dirt. Anyway, I'm almost done with this. And then, oh yeah, I did add hearts to the Eeyore card as well. I would love for you to tell me in the comments your very favorite. I think my favorite has to be this one that I'm working on now. I love how the tag really is kind of a focal point, and I love the ink blending on the background. I think it's super fun, but I love the Eeyore. Okay, look at this. This is a little sneak peek of what is to come on my Instagram. If you're not following my Instagram, I will put it on the screen here in just a minute, but I'm making a scrapbook page. Yes, a scrapbook page, because look how cool this paper is. And it reminded me of a really fun time I had with my friend back in 2018. So here is my Instagram on the screen. I will be posting my finished scrapbook page to my Instagram. I have to print the picture that needs to go with this first, but I am just grabbing some of those little journal cards and adding a little zhuzh to my page, but I'm just loving how this is turning out. So I really appreciate you watching this video, and let me know your favorite in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video to a crafty friend. We'll see you next time. Bye, crafty friend.